what has happened to truth today, and how does it relate to journalism? Why is it necessary for us to even discuss truth? It's almost so, it should be so obvious, but it's not obvious anymore. What happened?
At the beginning of the 20th century, with Sigmund Freud's ideas of the subjective nature of human thought and all this sort of thing, institutions of power, economic institutions, political institutions, social institutions that relied on a market for their ideas or their things, or they needed a lot of people to think the way they wanted them to think. I mean, if you're gonna have a church group, you're gonna have to get a group of people who believe the way you believe the Bible, or that. If you're gonna have a election for public office, you're gonna have to get a group of people to agree with the way you see your responsibility. If you're going to sell a car, you're going to have to get a bunch of people to want to buy the car you want to sell them. They realized that in order to be successful, they had to communicate with the public in a way that served their need. They began to work very hard, because it was dollars and cents to them, to figure out how to do that. Beginning in the 1900s, these groups and organizations began to invest money, and by now they've invested billions of dollars and 100 years of research and thinking about how to do that. Public relations industry, advertising industry, these are all outgrowths of this stuff. These are all designed in one way or the other to give you a truth. Now we've got this communication system where all of them have the same access to the whole world of people and the same ability to one-on-one give them their message. They have been developing techniques to make that message more powerful, more palatable, more attractive, more friendly, more good feeling.
And what's happened to
in
journalists?
the midst of all this, journalists just keep doing the same thing. Here's what you need to know. I'm telling you what you need to know. It doesn't work.
You once said to me, journalists went from notepad to typewriter to word processor, but basically they're still doing the same thing. They haven't changed, while all these other things have changed in the last century. Not that much, really.
But what we've got to do, is we've got to, and we shouldn't change what we do. We shouldn't change the values, the value of our, but we've got to present that material to people in a way they recognize the value of it, the importance of it. And the internet, I think, provides the opportunity to really do that well.
But let me ask you a question. I agree about the internet. I'm thrilled with the potential it offers, and I have to say the Center for Public Integrity and many groups have showed how you can take millions of pieces of documents or different things and do things across borders. I mean, we both know, we both believe in the power of the internet, but what about the value of this news, and why isn't it being consumed more? Why isn't it valued more by the public? If you watch subscription rates and declining ratings on TV and things, it would appear that they don't value it.
Well, no,
is that not fair?
Yeah, no, I think in some ways it is. Well, I don't think we're measuring it in funny ways, and I'm not sure they're right. But if you were to take the readership of the New York Times in print and the readership of the New York Times on their website, you probably they've grown readership. There are more people exposed to the New York Times. How they get it, how they consume it, is another thing. Two things that have broken down. One thing that's broken down is that the value that advertisers see in that content has broken down. General Motors used to say, we want our ads to appear in the New York Times because we want the credibility of that editorial copy to rub off on our ad by sitting next to believable documented information we gain. That's broken down. They don't need that anymore, they believe. The other thing that's broken down is we present the information pretty much the way we always did and expect people to say, oh yeah, it really is, information really is important. Now the people who care about it and go get it do. But it's a different world now. People now are their own editors and publishers. Because of all this stuff out there, they can go anywhere and get anything they want.